Hello and a warm welcome. Thank you for joining me today for this webinar, Screw New Year's Resolutions, How to Make 2017 Your Best Year Ever. You've chosen to invest some time in you, your goals and your future. So I want to begin by inviting you to thank yourself for making this happen today. Now, in case you're watching and you're not 100% sure who I am and what I do, here's a super quick introduction from me, your host. My name is Will Elwood, and I believe that every one of us has greatness inside, our own special gift to give to the world. That's why I'm a life coach for people with big hearts and big dreams, to empower and support them in order to live a life of passion, fulfillment, and joy. The way I do this is through powerful and personal one-on-one coaching, in person and online via Skype. So how did we get here? This webinar was born out of frustration. I hate New Year's resolutions. According to Forbes magazine, only 8% of New Year's resolutions are achieved. And I know what that's like. I've set New Year's resolutions and after a few days, they are history. And if like me, maybe you've done this as well, but I feel that a lot of people are left feeling frustrated, disappointed, and believing they are the reason that they didn't make the change or achieve the goal. They somehow believe they aren't disciplined enough, or even worse, they aren't good enough. But setting New Year's resolution, for me, it's like building a house out of sand. It's set up to fail. It lacks strength and won't last. Because sooner or later, the tides of habit and other mind-made mechanisms will wash it away. So I've made this because I want people to succeed. I want people to wake up and feel good about themselves and the life they've created. Now, when it came to creating the content for this webinar, I've had a challenging time squeezing my best stuff into just 40 minutes. I've decided to focus on 3 main topics, all of which I'll break down into a mix of actionable steps, tools, and tips. So first of all, I'm going to share with you a powerful tweak to goal setting. It's a tweak that is so simple, yet few people are aware it exists, and they don't use it when setting goals. Then I'm going to be sharing some tips and tricks on how to master your time, because I really get that time management is a big struggle for almost all of us. And I also understand that how you spend your time is how you spend your life. So I'm going to show you how to organize your time effectively to give you the life you want. Finally, I'll be talking about fear. In particular, giving you some strategies for overcoming fear and moving into action. Plus, if you watch right to the end, you'll be receiving a free surprise. But before all of this, I want to take you on a journey. And on this journey together, we're going to go right to the very end of 2017. Now, I want you to imagine it's the 31st of December, 2017. And extraordinary things have happened for you within the 12 months since you watched this webinar. You stepped into your greatness. It's as if someone has waved a magic wand and things have fallen into place. Now, I'm going to ask you a few questions and some time to consider the answers and write them down if you wish. So you can pause, pardon me, you can pause the recording at any time to allow yourself an opportunity to answer these questions. Now, it's important to be completely open to the process. Drop any doubts or stories about what you feel is possible for you. Are you ready? So imagining it's 12 months from now and 2017 has indeed been your best year ever. My first question is, what are you celebrating? How do you look as you picture yourself, this future self? How do you look? What's different? What are the top 3 amazing things that have happened in 2017? one of my favorite questions. What have you created? Pardon me. What is your day-to-day life like? And my final question for now, what emotions have you felt most in 2017? Now, if you need to go back and spend some more time, then you're welcome to rewind to the questions you want to answer more fully. But if you're done, let's go back to the here and now. Now, I love this exercise. As we begin to imagine our ideal vision 12 months into the future, a couple of interesting things happen. Firstly, we become clear on what we want. Hopefully, during this quick exercise, you are able to either see a goal you'd like to achieve, consider changes you'd like to make, or actions you'd like to take. Sometimes we need to stop and just ask ourselves some quality questions and give ourselves permission to dream. Secondly, by stepping into this future self and looking back, we begin to feel how we would be feeling if we were really there at the end of 2017, looking back at our best year ever. Now, the reason this happens is our mind doesn't know the difference between a real experience or an imagined experience. By simply imagining or visualizing, if that word works for you, we can change the way we feel in any moment. So, on to part one, the powerful tweak for goal setting. Let me ask you a question. Why do we set goals? What drives us to do it? What comes to mind as I ask you that? Why do you believe we set goals? Now, there's lots of reasons, and they're all right because this is their opinion. And whatever you've come up with, it's right. That's your truth. So some of the common ideas around why we set goals are around focus. It's something to move towards too. It creates a purpose. But I want to share my truth. I want to share why I really believe we set goals. So for me, ultimately, if we were to go really, really deep, for me, we set goals because we want to experience the feelings that we believe will come with the attainment of the goal. Now, I'd like to give you a couple of examples. So let's look first at a pretty common goal, to be a millionaire. Now, if we look closely, people really don't want the money. I'm going to say that again. People really don't want the money. Think about it. Money, after all, is just paper. What people want are the feelings that come with having an abundance of money. For some people, it's worthiness. For some, an abundance of money provides security. For others, what they really want is the feeling of freedom that comes from having lots of money. It's the feeling we're after. And I understood this recently from a conversation with one of my clients. So a client, we'll call him Bob, that's not his real name, but coaching is confidential. So recently, Bob told me he wanted to lose some weight. Once we dug a little deeper, it became clear it's actually feelings of confidence Bob wants. Bob believes that by losing weight, he will then feel confident. At the end of the day, the result Bob really wants is the feeling of confidence. Understanding this, that ultimately it's the feelings we desire rather than the goals themselves. Maybe we've been setting goals the wrong way around. So simply put, most people set goals to feel a certain way. But what if we flipped it? What if we were to get clear on the feelings we most want to feel and then set our goals and actions? Let's take a step back. think back to your vision for 2017. I asked you this question at the end about what emotions you have felt most in 2017. And I want to offer a couple more questions. So again, once I've shared these, you're welcome to pause to consider these. So another question is, what are the feelings you most want to experience? What are the feelings you most want to experience? And how would you like to feel each day? Just imagine if you could wake up and experience any emotion, what would that be? Maybe it's excitement, maybe it's passion, maybe it's creativity. I don't know. But how would you like to feel each day? In the book Desire Mapping by Danielle LaPorta, these are described as our core desired feelings. In other words, we all have core feelings that we most want to experience. I discovered my core feelings are connection, freedom, the feeling of making a difference, adventure, and love. Knowing these are the feelings I wish to create, I can build my goals and ultimately my life around them. And so can you. So what are the benefits of the feeling first approach to goal setting? So I'm going to refer to this as the feeling first approach to goal setting. Creativity. Let's go back to Bob, whose original goal was to lose weight. Now, knowing that it's ultimately the feeling of confidence he desires, Bob can begin to explore all the other possible ways of feeling confident. If his goal focuses simply on losing weight, Bob may just find himself slugging away at the gym each day. Whereas if his focus is on the feeling, Bob can put his thinking hat on and begin to create a number of fun ways true to him that he could experience the feeling of confidence. This may include experimenting with a new haircut, taking up some acting classes, beginning dating again. This is where it gets exciting, because once you know the feelings you desire, how you go about experiencing those feelings is in your hands. Because remember, we are the creators of our own lives, and we can be creative in how we summon the feelings we desire most. A second benefit of the feeling first approach to goal setting is the results are quicker, sometimes instant. With normal goal setting, we too often postpone how we want to feel until we achieve the goal. So maybe this sounds familiar. Once I lose 5 kilograms, then I feel confident. I can relax once I've sold the house, and I'll feel worthy once I get the promotion. The magic question to ask yourself each and every morning is this: what can I do today to make myself feel? And fill in your core desired feelings. So what can I do today to make me feel adventurous? What can I do today to make me feel passionate? Now, to summarize this section, make feeling how you wish to feel your primary focus. Life is way too short to tie how we desire feeling to our goals. So why not play with the idea of cutting the corner, feeling how you wish to feel now, and just concentrate on feeling awesome today? Because after all, today is the only day we get. Part 2, how to master your time. When I was creating this webinar, I thought long and hard about what I should share, which would be of most value. Now, there's no surprise, time management was something that popped up. And I've read dozens of time management books. So let me save you time by sharing with you my top 3 favorite ways to master time. Number 1, scheduling. Not the most sexiest of tips, but it really works. And it's one of the most simplistic yet effective ways to manage time, having a daily schedule. This can be on your phone, it can be an online calendar, or you can choose to have a physical diary. It's whatever works best for you. It's important to have your day split up into hourly or half-hourly slots. Schedule in each of your commitments. And what I love about scheduling is the feeling of clarity. By looking at any scheduled day, you know exactly where you'll be, who you'll be with, and what you'll be doing. And view your schedule as your second brain or your personal assistant. Allow me to add the golden rule to scheduling, which I know will really serve you in 2017. The golden rule is this: create the schedule of the person you wish to become today. How many people shoot themselves in the foot with to-do lists and schedules where they only cover their basic commitments like work, shopping, meetings? They schedule in the same old commitments week after week, month after month, year after year. So create the schedule around the person you wish to become today. And I'll encourage you to revisit your 12-month vision and ask yourself this question: who do I need to be today in order for my 12-month vision to become a reality? I'll say I'll say that again because it's such an important question. Who do I need to be today in order for my 12-month vision to become a reality? So schedule in your most important priorities. Schedule in the tasks, the things that you need to do in order to create the life you want. So perhaps you want stronger relationships with your family. Make sure you're scheduling time for a weekly family dinner. Do you want a deeper romantic relationship? Schedule in date night. Do you want more money? Schedule in time to read a book on wealth. Schedule and commit to honoring what you scheduled. Tip number 2. It's a 2-letter word I think we should all say more often. Why? It will give you more time for you, doing the things that you love, and the things that contribute most towards your success and happiness. And number 2, it will limit the hundreds of distractions that stop you from doing your best work. So what might this mysterious 2-letter word be? No. Get comfortable saying no. Now, as children, we learn saying no is an act of defiance. When we said no to our parents, maybe we'd be sent to the naughty step, or we'd get a smack on the bum. At school, saying no to our teachers earned us detention and a good telling off. So really, it's no wonder as adults we have a problem saying no. For most people, when a friend or a family member or a colleague asks for a favor, without thinking, we'll say yes. When somebody makes a request of us, even when we'd like to say no, we still say yes to please the other person. We ignore our gut feeling. And if you think about it, nobody wins when we say yes to requests we don't want to. We resent the person for asking, and we criticize ourselves for not being brave enough to say no. I had a coaching call recently with a client who was struggling with this, saying no. We'll call my client Lisa. At the start of our session together, Lisa shared just how heavy and overwhelmed she felt. I asked Lisa what was causing her to feel so overwhelmed. She spoke of her super busy schedule and shared with me a few upcoming events that were causing her a large amount of stress. And it was clear to me that Lisa, out of the goodness of her heart, was saying yes willy-nilly all the time, even when a voice inside her head was screaming no. By the end of our call together, Lisa and I had identified a number of conversations she would choose to have in the near future. Conversations where she would say the word no. This way, she would create more time for herself, doing what matters most. I received a message from Lisa a few days after our call with her telling me just how much lighter and in control she felt. You see, when we say no, we're honoring ourselves and our commitments. But the thing is, we worry about how people will respond if we say no to them. We create these movies in our heads of arguments starting. We imagine what might be said, or even worse, what might be shouted. Slow down. It's all in the mind. In reality, people are likely to respect your honesty and strength. So be brave and say no. My third tip for mastering time is to create periods of what I call solid focus. Despite popular belief, we humans are not good at multitasking. We're just not working at our best when we're completing more than one task at once, or when we're constantly faced with distractions. So I urge you, as often as possible, create periods of solid focus. This means completing one task with 100% of your conscious attention. This means all notifications turned off from your phone, your laptop, your tablet for a set amount of time. If you're out on a walk, just walk. If you're writing, just write. I like to work in 40-minute bursts against the clock using one of these, an egg timer. So test this for yourself to see what impact working with solid focus has on your productivity. This tip ties in nicely with the previous two tips. By limiting distractions and putting all of your effort into just one task, you're saying no to the rest of the world and committing to doing what is important, and best of all, doing it well. Experiment with how long you work in these focus periods, but be aware that the brain gets tired after about 40 minutes. So be sure to take breaks in between these focus periods. Now we've arrived at number 3, strategies for moving past fear and into action. Now, I may not know you personally, but I know this much about you. You have fears. You know how I know? Because I have fears too. We all do. So let's talk about it. Do any of these fears sound familiar? The fear of failure. The fear of not being good enough. The fear of disappointing other people. The fear of looking stupid. The fear of people not liking you. And the fear of uncertainty. When you find yourself not taking action, procrastinating, not moving forward despite your best intentions, chances are there's a fear stopping you. One of the first things I explain to my clients when we have a coaching conversation about fear is that it's normal to have fears. Your mind is doing its job. The number one role of the human mind is survival, and it has many mechanisms in place to protect us. Do you ever wonder why such negative and dark thoughts pop in your head? Our minds are biased to remember negative and painful events more than positive and pleasant events for survival. Did you know we're wired to see angry faces before we see happy faces? Now, knowing that fear is normal and it will always be with us, it's handy to have a few go-to strategies for moving past fear and into action. And I'm going to be sharing 2 of the best. But first, how to respond to fear. The very first step, once you've become aware that fear is in the room, is to thank it for being there. Be thankful for this part of you that is fearful. It means well, and it means to protect you. Accept it. Accept you're feeling the way you're feeling. Attempt to name the fear, what's showing up. And ultimately, do your best to understand it. If it had a voice, what might it say? Now, through a little bit of self-inquiry, we can get aware, we can get calm before choosing to move past fear. Strategy number 1, take action regardless, even if it's one step. Become a person who takes action despite fear. We too often kid ourselves into believing that fear is always a sign to stop. Now, this belief serves us when we get too close to a hostile dog that's barking its head off, baring his fangs. But often, when we do feel fearful, there is no immediate danger. Just think back to the job interviews, the first dates, where fear gripped you. You gave yourself permission to not let fear get the better of you. Fear's boundaries are an illusion of the mind. Think about that. Fear's boundaries are an illusion of the mind. Many things that once terrified you no longer bother you at all. You saw fear's boundaries for what they are, an illusion. Strategy number 2. Let's say you and I are queuing up for this ride. Why is it I may hate being in the queue while you may love it? I'm stood there biting my nails, sweating like a pig as I look up at this spin around and around, whilst you're itching to get on, your eyes wide. What's the difference between you and I in this scenario? Expectation. I'm going to share with you now a powerful tool for overcoming fear or nervousness, and it stems from this idea that the only difference between fear and excitement is expectation. Let's take both of these, fear and excitement. And if you were to imagine now how both emotions feel, they're similar, right? The energy isn't so different, and it appears in the same parts of the body for most people. Let's say my client Lisa is feeling nervous about an upcoming presentation she has to deliver. For Lisa to experience fear, her expectation is likely to be that it's going to go terribly. In Lisa's mind, she may picture herself forgetting what to say as she stands shyly with her arms across her stomach. She may imagine the angry tone in her colleagues' voices as they grill her for the low-quality presentation. Can you see the pattern here? Her expectation creates a certain, let's call it a movie in her mind, made up of images and sounds, which then create this feeling. Now, knowing this, Lisa can consciously choose to change her expectation of the presentation. She could tell herself it'll be a great success. She could stop and consider the opportunities that may come from the success of the presentation. Lisa may take the focus off her and make it about adding value to the other people. Changing the images in her mind, Lisa could see herself presenting perfectly, word for word, standing proudly with confident, open body language. Lisa could choose to imagine the round of applause once her presentation comes to a finish, or the words of praise from her colleagues' mouths. This alternate expectation will then feel very different for Lisa. Why this tool is a winner for me is it only takes about 30 seconds to complete, and it can be used anytime you want to shift your feelings from fear to excitement. And I'll be honest with you, I've used this tool today. This is my first webinar. The live webinar was a disaster. Well, not a disaster, but we had some technical problems. And if you watched earlier on today, you know exactly what I mean. And again, thank you for your patience. But, I can use this. I can change my expectation. I can tell myself that it's going to add value. I can tell myself it's going to go great. I can tell myself that I'm going to be showing up at my best. Now, we're almost at the end of the webinar for today. I'd like to wrap up by asking you, what is your biggest takeaway from watching this? What is your biggest insight? And let me know by getting in touch. Now, as promised, For those of you who watched all the way to the end, you will be receiving a free gift. I've created something for you. I've created a daily success journal in PDF format, which will help you to structure each day effectively, pulling together the strategies that we've discussed today. So to receive this, simply email me at will@orangeboxpd.com and I will send you a copy. Now, I'm not sure why you showed up here today. It may be because you feel 2016 has been a great year for you and you want 2017 to be even better. It may be because you feel 2016 wasn't a great year for you and you want to make it happen in 2017. Either way, I hope what I've shared today will serve you. And I've loved that you've showed up. And to end, I'm inviting you to book a time for us to have a coaching call in the near future. I've put some extra times on my schedule during the first 2 weeks in January just for this. So during the call together, we will go deeper into your vision for 2017, and I will help you to get clear on the steps you need to take, as well as coaching you around any limiting beliefs or challenges you may have currently. Of course, you have a choice whether you book a call or not. What I've shared with you today will certainly kickstart your growth in 2017. But if, however, you'd like to see results quicker, the magic of coaching will speed things up for you. Now, if you'd like to see this happen, again, just reach out to me and I'll send you my schedule. Now, it's been an absolute pleasure to serve you today. Again, I just want to say how much I appreciate you showing up. And ultimately, I want to wish you a very happy, healthy, and prosperous 2017. And I look forward to speaking to you very soon. Take care. Goodbye for now.